My name is Daniel Scott with UDAYA.com, and this is Average Yoga, a series of tutorials specifically designed for people who don't do yoga yet. Take what you want, leave what you don't, go at your own pace, and learn to build your practice from the ground up. Triangle and extended angle are fun. So let's talk about what these poses mean before we jump into breaking them down. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Parsvottanasana, extended side angle. Whatever you call them, they look the same or feel the same. So whatever word you hear, just think about the shape that you're going to create. Let's start from the ground up. So if you start standing, have your feet wider than your hips, spread the toes. And from here, begin to try to find different points of connection in your feet. Maybe on inhales and exhales, you can try to push into the outer edges or draw into the inner edges. And as you're doing that, think about your connection of your foot to the ground and then connection of your body to your feet. Now, the idea of anything that we're doing in this side moving plane, it's like a side bend. Whether you collapse or you fold, we're moving from side to side in both ways. So the grounding of the feet into the floor help you have something to work away from and help you lengthen. So this isn't about collapsing. This is about finding a grounding foundation in your postures and then lengthening and moving in a side body lateral plane. So with these feet wide, let's start by taking our right feet out. Turn the toes in line and think about your hips in line with the heels and the toes. Now, depending on the opening of the hips and the thighs, you might have to bend this knee over here, this one with the toes turned out. That's totally fine to begin with. Other things you might want to think about is having a brick nearby, just one, because again, when we try to reach for the ground, it breaks the line. And the most important thing to think about with all of these movements is that you're basically a stick figure. And the stick figures, it's very simple to think about, are your bones inside your body. So you can't bend your bones, you can bend at joints. So you can use the extension of the brick that you have to add length to your body so you don't have to collapse to make a connection to the ground. So for triangle pose, now you're going to hear different things from different people. Sometimes the hand or the brick goes on the inside of the foot, sometimes it goes on the outside of the foot. You see what works for you best, and then you do what you want. Personally, me, I'm a big fan of both, but for today, my brick and my hand are going to try to go to the outside of my front foot. So you can put the brick there to begin. Now, hands on the hips. This is the foot that's still pointing forward to the long edge of the mat. Let's say that's the back foot. What you want to do here is try to tilt the front hip towards the back hip. As that happens, you're going to find length beginning to happen. So you're starting to stick out the side of that hip. If you want to keep this front knee bent, that's amazing. You can totally do that. The idea is that you're able to still find connection to the feet, and then from that, draw energy up. So hips are opening, side body's opening, lengthening from the ribs to the hips. Now, take this front hand, extend it forward. You can turn the palm up, take the back hand onto that hip, and make this little I'm a teapot kind of looking thing. Now, don't worry about taking the arm down. Think about looking over that front hand, whether the palm's up or palm's down, shoulders draw in together, maybe tiny bend in that front knee. Hold that here. Now, if you feel this back hip start to rotate forward, really think about being pressed between two panes of glass. This idea is that if you keep this line, before you reach down, you want to feel the opening through the hips and the pelvis, through the thighs, into the feet. Later on in life, you can think about, oh, the external rotation of the thighs and the internal rotation of the calves help me ground down into your feet. And that's fine. But for now, just think, I've got feet. They need to be on the ground. I need to feel my feet. So I'm going to find ways, softening the toes, spreading the feet, dropping energy from the hips through the legs into the feet. Now, from this triangle pose, when you feel this hip being able to be stable without turning forward, maybe then you can start lowering the hand to the thigh and then keeping long in the side body, sliding the hand down to the shin. You don't have to touch the ground. You don't even have to go past the knee. You can stay hand on the thigh and work on that length. Shoulders down the spine, hips in line with each other. And eventually you get that hand to that brick. Once you do, use it. Press into the brick, lengthen the arms, and then try to find a long extension in all directions, through each leg, through the shoulders and the side body, from the tailbone to the top of the skull. Where should you be looking? Where's your visual drishti? Personally, me, I like to look down because it makes my neck feel happy. If I want to get a little bit more excited, I can look in line in the same direction my heart and my chest is looking. Over time, you can start looking up. In fact, over time, you can start raising that top arm up, drawing the shoulders down, and try to find a long line from the bottom fingertips to the ground, through the shoulders to the top fingertips. But if you're not there just yet, keep the hand on the hips, shoulders down the spine, lengthen and extend. Now, if you want to bend that knee to come back up, fantastic. You should. Don't force anything. You could do both sides, and one side will certainly be easier than the other because one is your favorite side, and the other one is your second favorite side. So look at both with the same love and affection that you have, but know that one side might be more easy and the other side be more challenging. When you find out, work both evenly and really try to find the differences of what it feels like in your body. Triangle pose. Pretty simple. As you can see, the legs stay straight for the most part. And again, if you have to have a tiny bend in the knee, that's fine. Extended side angle allows you to bend that front leg. And for this, I'm going to go back in this direction. So you might need to widen the stance a bit more. So coming back to this wide-legged, toes can still turn forward. You might take the feet a bit wider, turn those toes out, and then bend the knee. When you bend the knee, think about that knee going directly over the heel. Now, just sometimes hanging out like this is going to be perfect for beginners. Don't even worry about that brick. If you want to get a little bit more comfortable, take the elbow to the knee, turn the palm facing up. Now, because of this line, you can see there's a stack: shoulder, elbow, knee, heel. Now that's a nice vertical bone stack, but if you look at this angle back here, you can see shoulder, hip, back knee, back heel. Now, if you find that you have sweaty feet and you don't have anything on your mat that's going to stop it, you're going to start slipping and sliding and sweating. See what's happening back there? Totally happens. You can always walk the foot back in. Now, once you have the elbow stacked and the palm facing up, don't just hang it like a dead fish. Keep it active. Use this activation to keep a little bit of muscular engagement to hold the bones in line with the muscles to find that stack that you need. Now, the weight is a lot in the heel, but as a result, press into the toes to spread the weight from the heel towards the toes and create length and perhaps even a bit of a grounding connection to that back foot. So you don't want to forget about that back foot. So you look down over the shoulder, look down over the back hip, shoulders down the spine, try to lengthen as much as you can, draw the navel into the spine, extend through all 5 points. Point number 1, back foot. Point number 2, front foot. Point number 3, shoulder. Point number 4, other shoulder. Point number 5, top of the head. Big breath in, big breath out. If you want to make it more interesting, take the hand to the brick and continue that lengthening. Arm can extend up in line with the bone stack of the front hand or up and over the ear in line with the back foot. A lot of times when this happens, we overextend or we bend the elbow, we lose that line. So for now, just take a moment, come back to your idea of stick figures and all that you do. This is a bit more complicated. This is slightly easier. This perhaps even more easier so. But right here, man, if you spend like 5 to 10 breaths in your extended side angle just like this, you're going to find a great opening of the hips, strengthening of the legs, softening of the shoulders, perhaps even strengthening of the neck. And if you forgot to breathe, it's a good opportunity to bring your awareness back to your breath. Now to come out, don't just throw yourself up. If you need to, take the hand in the knee, extend it up. Other side. Now, when you go from side to side, again, you might find one side's easier than the other. Don't worry about how beautiful it looks as you make the transition. Go from the ground up. Step 1, bend the knee. Step 2, find the feet. Step 3, maybe you just take the elbow to the knee, shoulders down the spine, work on your bone stacking. Front heel up to the shoulder, back heel up through the hip to the top shoulder. And once you have that, hand to the hip, find your length. Inhale long, exhale deep. As you like, you can start making arm variations, breathing the whole time, keeping the eyes where they need to be. Don't try to move from the neck. The neck should be in line with the spine and the tailbone. When it's time to come out, don't forget, use your muscles, come back to that center, walk the feet together, shake it all out. Oh man, I think you did a great job. Oh, you just do like maybe 5 to 10 breaths each side each day. You're gonna find a vast improvement of your hips, of your back, of your legs, your mind, and most importantly, your yoga practice. So, how'd all that land for you? Hopefully, it sparked a fire. And if you're looking to fan the flame, head over to UDAYA.com and enter the promo code AVERAGE JOGA. You're going to have access to a lot more classes from myself and a host of amazing teachers from around the world of all shapes, styles, and colors. By all means, let this serve as a great foundation to build a home practice on that you can have for the rest of your life. Enjoy, enjoy.